today is the day. Man City is hosting Arsenal at the Etihad, and we've already gone ahead to bring you the starting 11 probable for the side of Arsenal, and we're here to bring you the probable starting 11 for the side of Man City. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David, and remember we are powered by Mono Gadgets, dealers in brand new phones and brand new laptops, and then we also deal into used phones and used laptops. And here we go to obviously introduce to you a new person in town that can really get you all those gadgets. Call her on +256 70 99 8866 or WhatsApp her on that number. Follow her on TikTok. Search for Mono Gadgets, and the rest is really gonna be history into the making into your gadget world, right? So let's obviously get into this probable starting 11 for the side of Man City and see how things are really gonna pan out. Now, before I really bring you this probable starting 11 of Man City, let me first read to you how City stood or really lined up when they are playing into the Champions League, right? Because they drew with Inter Milan, and that will give us a proper picture onto how they really looked and how they are expected to look over the weekend all today. City lined up as follows. Let me try to throw this onto the screen and see how you people really gonna really be getting know how this. Okay, let me just read it. They played the system of 3-2-4-1. Ederson in goal. The back three had Akanji, Diaz, and Vadio. Then Rico Lewis and Rodri played into the double pivot. Savio, right winger. Grealish, left winger. Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne played as the two central attacking midfielders. And Haaland went ahead, obviously, lead the line. Meaning that when you look at that team, Kevin De Bruyne is doubtful, and we anticipate that some other players that got rested are really going to be brought into this beautiful game of football. Look at their bench. They had Jeremy Doku, Ika Gundogan, Phil Foden, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Mateo Kovacic, Stefan Ortega, Matthias Nunes, Carson Scott, and James McTee. Now, according to how that starting 11 was, I've gone ahead obviously come up with this probable starting 11, and I believe they're really going to look as follows. And let's see the system. I think he might go with a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, though even a 3-2-4-1 that he went ahead to adapt can be used into the next phase of the attack. And Man City are really going to be having Ederson in goal, no doubt about that. We know to it that he's a first choice goalkeeper for the side of Man City. There is no doubt about that. The right back, I think Rico Lewis has been having a very fantastic job at Man City, and he has been playing very well. But on the right, I think it's going to be Kyle Walker, to match the pace of Gabriel Martinelli. I think that's going to be the guy known as Kyle Walker to be played as a right back. Left back, I think it's going to be Josko Vadio, and he's really going to be facing Bukayo Saka into the mix. Then on the right-sided centre-back, I think it's going to be John Stones, right? He was also rested. Ruben Diaz is going to be coming in through to be played as a left-sided centre-back. So that is the back five for Man City, and that's how I anticipated them to obviously coming through and really line up as they take on the side of Arsenal. In the midfield, Rodri returned in the midweek, I think. Was it in the midweek or over the weekend? And he's going to be starting again in this game of football, as he's one of the most important players that Pep Guardiola also knows that can obviously elevate his team to the next level as far as performance is really concerned. And alongside him, this is where it gets tricky, because he has Matthias Nunes, he has Bernardo Silva, he has Kovacic. Phil Foden can also be played in the midfield three. So to choose the three players that is really going to play alongside Rodri, it's really tricky. But in my own understanding, I believe it's going to be Mateo Kovacic coming in through to play alongside him, and he's also going to field a player known as Bernardo Silva into that midfield. That's how I believe Pep Guardiola is obviously going to be lining up on this Sunday game. Super Sunday game, and that is the midfield three, and that's how I anticipate it to be looking like into the making. And so that is really great for the side of Man City, and Arsenal have to really pass through that midfield. Now, right forward, first and foremost, we have to talk about Erling Haaland. So we have to talk about Savinho and the guy is called what? What's his name? Jeremy Doku and Phil Foden. Even Bernardo Silva can be considered in that position. And I think that position has its own player that plays there. He goes by the names of Savinho. Right. So for me, I believe Savinho is going to be played as a right forward into this game of football. On the left, it's obviously going to be either Jack Grealish or Jeremy Doku. And I believe that Grealish, having not gone ahead to really be benched and he played 90 minutes, looks like he's impressing the manager a lot and is going to be played onto the left forward of this team of Man City. Leading the line, obviously, it's going to be none other than Erling Haaland. It's the only centre forward certified that Man City does have. Now, when you look at that starting 11 that is probable, you have to obviously anticipate the battles that this game of football is really going to be all about. Now, some of the biggest battles, it's going to be Erling Haaland versus Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba. It's going to be one of those battles that we're going to be looking at hugely. Julian Timber versus Savinho is another battle that is really going to excite us to the fullest. Yes. And Ben White and Jack Grealish, Jeremy Doku, all right, it's another one that we have to obviously look at and understand where it's really going to end. Then, sorry about that. In the midfield, right? In the midfield, Partey, Rice, and maybe Trossard taking on Rodri, Kovacic, and Bernardo Silva. Another huge battle to look at into the game of football. Sorry about that. That is going to be played today. You understand? So, I'm here waiting to see how things are really going to be panning out into the mix. But all in all, everything is really doing the best of itself. And let's go to the back line of Man City and who they're going to be facing. Kyle Walker, I hinted a little bit about it. He's going to be facing Gabriel Martinelli. We know that very well. Then Josko Vadio, Bukayo Saka, another one that needs to obviously raise up to the occasion. And if the team of Arsenal is to win this game, Saka needs to raise up to the occasion because he needs to double easy for Buzz as the most creative player of Arsenal is really out. That is Martin Odegaard, meaning that Saka will have to work or do times twice. And when he works times twice, obviously, it will lead to him really doing the due diligence and maybe produce a moment of magic like he did when they're playing against Spurs. That set-piece delivery that resulted into the goal that Gabriel Magalhaes scored was really epic. You understand? So, then, John Stones and Ruben Diaz will be up and running to obviously face either Kai Havertz or Gabriel Jesus to lead that line. So we wait and see how that is really going to pan out, but that is my probable starting 11 for the side of Man City as they take on the side of Arsenal. So who do you think should start and who do you think should be benched from this team of Man City into this big game of football that will be played tomorrow? So I think it's today because today is a Sunday in my country, and we wait to see how Pep Guardiola is really going to stand. But I believe out of those players, the majority of them will be to the starting 11, but there might be one or two changes depending on the system that the manager needs to deploy to obviously face the club of Arsenal. Now, we sign out for now. See you later, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. And Rokani David is here to bring you the best. Continue to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers on this channel because we are at 23,000. Let's continue to subscribe and see to it that all really moves on into the right direction altogether. So, 5-finger salute to everyone watching in through. Man United has drawn with the Crystal Palace 0-0 in a game where Man United went ahead to obviously put in a very huge shift, but they couldn't obviously put the ball at the back of the net. Then I think Newcastle has been a culprit too, because they've gone ahead, obviously, not really win. That is it. Let me see. I want to read the results very, very well. Chelsea beat West Ham 3-0. Aston Villa beat Wolves by 3-1. Fulham beat Newcastle by 3-1. Ipswich 1-1. Tottenham Hotspur 3-1. Leicester City 1-1. Liverpool 3-0. United 0-0. And tomorrow we are having two games: Brighton versus Nottingham Forest and Man City hosting Arsenal, as we prepare for the next weekend. The next weekend will obviously kickstart off with a big one. Newcastle is going to be hosting Man City. Then that is the Saturday. Chelsea will be playing Brighton. All right. Then Brentford will be playing West Ham. Everton will be playing Crystal Palace. Arsenal will be playing Leicester City. That is next Sunday. Nottingham Forest will be playing Fulham, and Wolves will be hosting Liverpool. Then Ipswich will come in through on Sunday to play against Aston Villa. Then Man United will host Tottenham Hotspur. And Monday, that's when we'll see Bournemouth playing Southampton. So that's how everything is really happening, and we out for now. See you later. That is the probable starting 11 for the side of Man City. Bye-bye.